I always like brush my hair the wrong way when I'm looking at myself on the on the camera. I'm like, wait a second,
right.
that's right, because I'm like opposite.
Get things looking just right.
I can't even. It's like when you like rub your tummy and tap your head at the same time. Can you do that?
And what's more confusing, there's a way you can mirror it, flip it here in this program to make like the text
Make it
and the
even more.
post.
Yeah, because I'm like that wasn't what I meant to do. Anyway,
Man, oh
if anybody's
man,
in the room, I can't
we-
tell yet. Is
we
is
should be
anybody?
making connections. We just
Is
hit the
anyone in the?
button.
If they are, can you hear us good? Can you see us good? How's our lighting? I think I'm going to bring a black. Mike, do you want me to bring that? Did I show you that kind of black thing that I was going to put behind your chair to black it out? I don't know if we could try that next
Oh,
week.
you told me about that and I forgot to get it. You're right.
Yeah, I'll bring it next week.
Totally forgot. I think I saw it.
Try.
Yeah.
And then you may be able to like hang some like logo on the back or something, right?
And change it out more easily or quickly than actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because that way you can just keep the exact same setup you have. You don't have to move to a different part of your house or anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's worth a try. I feel like my lighting's good. We're gonna have our boy Steve for his second appearance today.
That's news to me.
But he's
Tremendous.
not. Unfortunately, he's not going to be. He had some short notice errands to run. We will bring him on to talk about him and his wife's thoughts on the end of Ancient Apocalypse Season 2, which we will also be talking about today. So I'm pretty excited about that. Are you excited?
I'm super excited. We're here at live stream number 4, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So
like and subscribe if you're watching or listening right now.
Still about 3 minutes till we like to hit the button early to get things ironed out, which I believe we've got. We seem to be doing good.
Yep.
We got some talking points lined up for today. Interesting things.
Yeah, it looks like we got 2 people on our Mike and Dave's Multiverse YouTube. Nobody on Twitter yet, but that's okay because it's literally our first time. I had to they had to do all kinds of crazy background checks to make sure I'm not a lizard people or something before I could go live on Twitter, which is cool because.
And we are live. I just pulled up. I
don't want to say the Elon word, but it smells like Elon. And because he bought Twitter, now you can pretty much do and say whatever you want. But they have a really strict protocol to make sure you're not a bot.
Spam protection.
Yeah, because that's what happened in the previous rhymes with Smelection. There was some, messing around that we're not going to get into today. But anyway, we finally clear for Twitter, and we should be live, which is exciting.
We said that we were on Facebook the last couple of weeks. It turns out we're not. We're linked to Facebook, but we got a cooldown timer of 60 days and 100 friends or something. So go add us on Facebook. We need 100 friends before they think we're legit.
Yeah, please. And Mom, if you're watching, just spam your page with this and get as many old ladies you can to follow us. They have to follow us though. They can friend us if they want, but they have to follow. We need 100 followers so we can go live on Facebook. Anybody else who's watching on Facebook, same thing. Gonna try to be able to go live on Facebook. So eventually it'll be YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, and Facebook, correct?
Instagram, we're on Instagram.
Instagram, yeah, Instagram, yeah. But we're not going to do TikTok because we support the free market.
I'm tired of social media already. You know what?
Me too.
It's Wednesday afternoon. Let's kick the show off.
It's Wednesday afternoon. Let's kick it off. I just wanted to start off by saying thanks again to Brittany, who's kind of the behind-the-scenes person of this, who deals with all our social media, because Mike and I hate social media. We don't hate you. We just don't like being on social media all the time. And we successfully avoided media altogether yesterday, both of us.
Yeah, I actually binge watched that entire season 2 of Ancient Apocalypse yesterday. We talked about it a few weeks ago in our very first episode,
And our
and I,
second.
I had still only watched the first episode up till yesterday. I
Yeah.
watched all 6 of them. That's going to give us plenty of things to talk about on the show today. Before we get to that, we'll cover a few current events and topics. It's Wednesday, November the 6th, 2024.
Yep, the
Welcome to
world
Mike and
did not
Dave's.
end for any particular reason that we're not mentioning, but we're all still here and we're all still happy.
Welcome to the Multiverse.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to believe. Do you?
That's right. That's right.
I'm trying to. That's probably not going to be our catchphrase. That just came off the top of my head. Plus, I'd be stealing it from Fox Mulder.
If anyone wants to suggest catchphrases, suggest taglines, logos in the chat, go feel free to suggest those.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, we got 3 people watching.
We like to kick the hour off with weather at the top of the hour. So here on the broadcast, pulling up NOAA. I'm actually going to swap. Again, look at this directly.
I have to kill some volume on something else. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
1 second.
Take care of that.
I had a cozy Hobbit hole on my TV with a built-in fireplace and Fellowship of the Ring music going while I was getting ready for my live stream. But I'm good to go now. Let's do it. Oh, we forgot our welcome humans.
That's right. That's right. Well, now that we've kicked off the show, there's a little bit of weather brewing down in the Gulf of Mexico. Hurricane Rafael, if y'all are paying attention, it's actually making landfall in Cuba pretty much as we speak right now, bearing down on Cuba. Big hurricane. This is an interesting hurricane because in the last 200 years of modern recorded meteorological history, this is only the 13th time that a major hurricane has formed in the month of November, this late in the year. So a little bit of a noteworthy hurricane we've got out there. And you can see that this cone of prediction, this is the latest NOAA forecast map, cone of prediction sort of widens out, and it almost seems like the hurricane is stalling. It's Wednesday evening, even going into Thursday night and Friday, we're still looking in the middle of the Gulf for the hurricane. And I looked further into this here before the show for you guys. I went to the spaghetti diagrams. So let's swap tabs. And I was a bit surprised. This hurricane is at a bit of an impasse. They don't know what it's about to do next.
So
spaghetti diagrams, folks. Let me share this tab instead. There. Thanks. They don't know whether it's going to go north or south. And it looks like it's going to stall out in the Gulf for a day or two. And who knows what the weekend will bring. And to be honest, I didn't really follow this hurricane that close the last couple of days. So I'm pulling this up fresh. We'll stay tuned for more updates. But
Raphael,
a bit of a mystery hurricane brewing out there in the Gulf right now. It could go either way. Maybe it'll just fizzle out and won't give nobody any trouble. That would be the best case scenario for everybody, right?
Yeah, it is interesting though. A major November hurricane, and it's entering the Gulf, but they don't really know where it's going. That's interesting to me, especially since I have some property in that area. So, but I'm thinking best case scenario too. But hurricanes are a big topic this year, and we want to start educating ourselves on them and educating you guys on them, and just keeping it flowing during hurricane season.
That's right. So one of our focuses is terrestrial weather on this channel, but we also like to look at solar weather. So let's go to the SOHO coronagraph. This comes from the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory. It comes from a spacecraft basically orbiting around the sun. And I'm going to show you the 48-hour. Really, this goes back a little more than 48 hours since the updated version hasn't been posted yet. But activity on the sun. We've had some minor solar activity in the last few days. M-class flares, which are not the biggest in my elementary understanding right now. X-class flares are the big ones that typically produce mass ejections. We've had a few M-class flares that we're going to see here. There's one on the 4th, 2 days ago, and it looks like another one late on the 5th.
Can I ask a stupid question that you might not know the answer to?
Go ahead. Go right
Am
ahead.
I looking at like a real image or a CGI?
This is real data taken, image data taken from the sun. They have to blot out the middle, the sun itself,
Okay.
to get the data.
Yeah. Well, I have my own telescope, and I have a solar filter that allows me to look at the sun as well. But it looks different than that. Obviously, they've probably got better technology than me. But that's cool.
We'll pull up the blue one too, which does the same thing.
Just for the blue shift. That's so cool. So, one of the reasons why we want to make this part of our channel is because there's only a few other channels doing it. There has been in some documented, like lots of documented increases in solar activity going on. And how that connects to ancient history, which is our other big thing, is that the two leading theories that caused the Younger Dryas cooling period and the Younger Dryas disaster was a mass coronal ejection. It's Dr. Robert Schoch, that Boston University. He's a geologist at Boston University. He's the one who's pioneering that one. We actually Mike and I got to see him talk live as the keynote speaker at the Cosmic Summit 2024. And I'm a fanboy of Dr. Robert Schoch. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I forgot. There you go. I'm a fanboy of Dr. Robert Schoch. I have a book upstairs called Voices of the Rocks that I had him sign. It's like 25 years old. And, the first time I ever saw him was on what was it called? I think it was a 2002 documentary with Graham Hancock called Quest for the Lost Civilizations. The first time I ever saw him, but the first time the mainstream got a look at Dr. Robert Schoch, and this is what he's most famous for, is the redating of the Sphinx enclosure and the Sphinx temple based on water erosion and weathering. But anyway, I know Mike's got some more stuff to talk about, but Robert Schoch pioneered the mass solar coronal mass ejection being the cause of the Younger Dryas, whereas Graham Hancock thinks it was likely a comet that exploded in the atmosphere and fragmented and landed in several different places on Earth. There are some people who are saying it could have been both, but we'll talk about that more in the future.
That's right. That was actually a great segment there, because that's a great book, Forgotten Civ, Robert Schoch. And that's why we pay attention to the sun. The sun has had effects on Earth before many times in the past.
So it has effects on Earth all day, every day, if you think about it.
So the coronagraph show, they were really quick, but it showed these blips. Now I'm going to show the solar wind prediction. Actually, this goes both in the past and then into the future. So we're going to start in a few days back. Now at the bottom on the left, you can see the solar flares that we also saw in the coronagraph. And the two dots, I just hit pause. So these other dots on the right side, that's where the Earth is, and the other satellites. I'm going to rewind it. So this is sort of a glancing blow, a side blow to the Earth. This solar flare is not really hitting us. But you can see starting later tomorrow that the solar winds are going to pick up a little bit as a result from that. So a little bit of minor activity, mild to moderate activity, but nothing too big. However, going to the magnetogram, we do want to pay attention to these sunspots. So as the sun revolves, these sunspots are going to be moving on your screen from left to right. So this 3883 is pretty important. Try to zoom in on it. Let's try to zoom way in here. I wanted to show this magnetogram because you can see sunspot 3883 has a well-pronounced north and south magnetic area. So we got This is what produces the solar flares. This is why we need to pay attention to it. And it'll be facing right towards us presently and for a few more days. So eyes wide open, folks.
Cool.
And that about covers it. So we got a hurricane churning out there. We don't know which way it's going to go. A little mild to moderate sun activity, but we're going to keep our eye on it. What else is going on, Dave? What have you been up to lately?
Before we move on, what was that other page you were bringing up? The one with the really cool live graphics?
Ooh, okay, I'll go back.
I kind of wanted to peek on that guy again.
The end little spiral.
No,
Yeah, this is
not that one. The one you did 2 weeks ago and 2 weeks before that.
I can't remember that. Oh, I know what you're saying though.
Yeah.
We'll do it live.
I thought that was a cool one, and I wanted to learn more about that.
I know what you're talking about. The hurricane one?
Yeah, this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's cool. Sorry, I didn't actually pull it up in my lineup for today, but this is really fun to look at.
I think so.
Yeah.
And so I just want to learn. So on the right-hand side, that's temperature, that scale, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay. And then these are the what do you call them? The Gulf streams, I guess.
Yeah. So the
and we're dumb. Okay, neither of us are meteorologists.
that's a brilliant question. The question you're asking is at what altitude is these mean temperatures being reported? This is showing a map of a wide geography. At what height above sea level are these temperatures coming from?
Yeah.
And I should be able to read it and figure that stuff out.
Oh,
2 meters. It says on the left, 2 meters above ground.
But I think you can change it too, right?
Let's change it.
Yeah. So just for
10,000 feet.
Oops and
look at this. We're learning live on the broadcast.
Yeah, right. So how you put 1,000 feet?
Wait a minute. Let's go back and start over. 2 meters above the ground. So this is ground level temps and wind currents. We see there's a hurricane. Let's go up, starting at 2,500 feet. Hurricane still well pronounced. 2,500 feet. That's half a mile?
Yeah.
Let's go up to 1 mile. A mile up in the air.
That's crazy to me. But it seems to be it cools. No, it warms up there, right? No, it cools down. Yeah, it cools down.
Another excellent question. It cools for a while, then it actually starts to warm up again.
Interesting.
Let's go 2 miles. Now we're getting cold. And now 2 miles up, we begin to see maybe shift away from the hurricane formation. Next, let's double that. This is more like 3.5 miles. Whoa.
What's this? 3.5 miles?
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm going up in altitude a few thousand feet at a time on the temperature and wind patterns.
Right. We're just playing around with this, but we really think this is a cool website, and we're going to learn a lot about it, I think, and you probably use it every couple of weeks or so. So
I plan to get to the
season.
to the bottom or top of it, altitude wise, eventually. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop. Let me stop sharing. There was the first segment. This show's off to a great start, Dave.
Yeah. How much time are we doing anyway?
15 minutes in.
Perfect.
I think it's time for a little humor, a little comedic relief.
Little comedy relief. Okay. So I saw this the other day. First of all, Mike and I are kindred spirits in a way because we're very, very different, but very, very the same in a lot of ways. And without even having this conversation, the two of us basically completely my hair's all screwed. We completely blocked out media yesterday, and the rhymes with erection, and we just didn't pay any attention to it at all. Like Mike said, he binge watched Ancient Apocalypse.
Perfect time.
Played some video games, did some yoga, did some stuff around the yard. Binge watched 48 Hours. I've been on this weird 48 hours bender lately. But anyway, we're going to now give you some news that's actually not erection related at all, because we said we weren't even going to say that word today. Okay. And my phone shows me news about space and news about archaeology and news about mixed martial arts. Eventually, we're going to do a new show about mixed martial arts, possibly from this channel. I'm going to, possibly from a different channel, but eventually that's going to happen. But we're not going to do that here. But I did find some interesting news, both in space and in archaeology. But before I do that, I'm going to play you guys just a funny little video that I found yesterday. It's an AI generated, what AI generated video of how the pyramids in the Giza Plateau in Egypt were built. And I think it's hilarious because it kind of puts together both like the conspiracy theories that are out there, as well as like the mainstream explanations, and neither of which make very good sense. And when you put them together, they just look ridiculous. So we're gonna check that out right now, okay? And I'm gonna share my screen. Where'd it go? Did I lose it?
This is a great video. We try to answer the tough questions here on this channel. So
we do.
How do they build the pyramids? Classic.
Yeah, generated. There we go. I just accidentally changed the screen there, but we're gonna bring it up.
So I was trying to pull up our analytics actually on the other tab. There we go.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. There's like more than I thought there was, and I accidentally left the one that I was on that was the best one.
But that just goes to show how much content we've got in store for the audience.
I got it. Let's do it.
Today's show.
Let's do it. I got it. Or do I got it?
We're going to talk about not only the present, so we've covered the present. Now we're going to reach back into the past for a little while and then yo-yo it all the way back to the future at the end.
Boom, got it.
Yeah, so if you stay tuned to the end of this podcast, we'll talk about the future.
Ancient Egyptians built the pyramids.
Here we go. Thank you, Mike, for saving the day there. The little boat and the giant rock kills me every time.
Using elephants, I think they use camels.
Yeah. And look at that. Look at this one. Look at that guy.
If you've ever worked on a construction site,
they're just moving that one back and forth. This guy's going to do a 4,000-pound deadlift right there. A 4-ton deadlift.
it's on little wheels or something. The audio on this is creepy.
It is. I'm gonna kill the audio, and
we can make fun of. We can roast it a little more
time because that boat kills me.
Go back to the crane dropping the man. I've seen some construction projects where they're lifting big stuff on cranes, and
well, let me kill the sound.
How's that boat floating? It's got a motor on
sound. So for those of you who don't know, they actually did find a boat that looks almost exactly like that, like somewhere near Giza. I would be lying if I guessed exactly where, but they found some other boats, as far as I know, similar style. I think they're constructed with reeds that they've gathered from the Nile and stuff like that. And so they're just not very sturdy boats. However, that's kind of the leading theory, is that they built boats and rafts and things like that and floated these giant boulders and giant rocks down the Nile River. And I mean, obviously the ancient Egyptians obviously the archaeologists aren't saying this happened, what you see here. But it's just what pops in my head.
Well, some almost are implying that.
Right. I'll bring it back to the crane.
Was it who did the calculation? Was it Luke Caverns who did the calculation on how wide the boat would need to be in order to transport a megalithic stone that heavy? And then it turns out it's like, wider than a boat would exist that could carry a stone that heavy, no doubt, but it would be wider than the Nile River itself. I don't know.
Literally wider than the Nile River itself. Yeah, and I don't know if it was Luke or not, but I bet you Christopher Dunn had something to do with that.
Or maybe it was Chris Dunn. Yeah, we'll source that one. We got to source that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Luke, by the way, Luke Caverns is cool. He's got a really cool YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and plug it. Luke's our age. He's like us, but he lives over in Texas and goes into the jungles of Mexico, South America, and the Amazon, and goes and finds ruins that haven't been found before. He'll figure out on Google Maps ahead of time. But no one's charted this area out, but I can get here in one night's hike from a city, and he'll just go there. So super cool stuff.
He did, and he does, and he's done it through passion and just because he really enjoys it. And he kind of started from scratch, a lot like we're doing right now, and built himself up into a pretty big channel. I think he has hundreds of thousands of followers now. He was one of the speakers at Cosmic Summit 2024, and I think he's going to be there at Cosmic Summit 2025. He also has he's got his own podcast, but he has another podcast that he does with Johanna James from Ye Funny Old World, and their podcast is called Raiders of the Past. So I just wanted to drop that one as well. And they actually started episode 1 live stream of that podcast from Luke's hotel room at Cosmic Summit.
And that episode was more or less the genesis of this show that you're watching today. So that's the
exactly.
Lineage.
So I'm going to keep playing just till we get to the crane, just because it's funny.
Oh yeah. Camels. I like
guys,
how they recruited the camels.
Yeah, of course. I like how the elephants are walking backwards. Yeah, that crane. Look at the dude standing.
You see how close that guy is? OSHA would not approve of this. No way. I'm blowing the whistle and throwing the flag. Oh my gosh. Safety,
that's
man.
Hilarious. I like how it still has like hieroglyphs or some kind of Borg writing on it.
The safety man is about to run at least 3 people off in this picture. Can you pick them? We should make that our community poll. If you were a safety man, who would you run off?
Yeah, and I bring this humor to us for a couple different reasons. Sometimes this subject of ancient lost civilization gets roped in with some like ridiculous conspiracy theories. I'm not gonna lie, okay? Look behind you, okay? I love this shit, okay? I want to believe, all right? I've been following this story my whole life, okay? But I'm not the type of person who just believes everything that I'm told. I like to go down that avenue and pretend it's true for a little while, but this. And Graham has been kind of looped into these conspiracy theorists and ancient aliens and stuff like that. I've watched more Ancient Aliens probably than any other show except for the X-Files, okay? But I know it's not real. It's ridiculous. I get it. It's fun. It's fiction, right? Graham Hancock's Ancient Apocalypse is not fiction. He's presenting real, like, evidence from across the world that pokes holes into the established history of humanity. That's right. And it's not funny. It really is like real groundbreaking stuff that if we collectively as a society start looking into, I really believe we're going to uncover some things about our past that are just going to blow our minds. So I just really want everyone to look forward to all the things that we're going to come up with. So with that being said, I'm going to stay on the ancient Egyptian topic here. I'm going to bring up
I thought that was a great segue into season 2.
Yeah. Well, it was going to be, but we were not really working out the. You want me to do the space one?
Oh, we got to do Euclid. Hey, we got some Euclid news to talk. I forgot about that, folks.
Euclid first, or
we talked about that our first week. Pull up the Euclid. Yeah. We got to do that first.
All right. So first, we're going to do some space news first.
Big telescope, folks.
So Euclid is the share. Euclid beholds a distant swirling galaxy. Can you see that? Yep. Okay. Cool. Yep. This is run by the. This image shows an area of the mosaic released by the European Space Agency's Euclid Space Telescope on October 15th, 2024. Jamie, if you're there, can you look up where the Euclid Space Telescope is while I'm going over this?
I'm looking up.
There's no Jamie. That's just a joke if you watch Joe Rogan. But this is a color image. What I'm
We
going
are
to
the
do
Jamie.
first next is show you guys a video of like a zoom in of this thing. Okay. And I, on at the very least weekly basis, like to remind myself just how big the universe is and just how small I am, we are, and our planet is. Okay. And okay, let me see. Share. All right. And some people, when I say that, they go, or they see a video I'm about to show, they go, oh, that's cool, but that's scary. That makes me feel so small. I don't like that. That's spooky. And this is a reaction I get to videos like this all the time. Okay. However, just however, I don't look at it that way, guys. I look at it like this thing that we're part of is so mind-bogglingly huge and so incredibly awe-inspiringly special and amazing that we actually get to be a part of it for like a blink of an eye. And when I remind myself of that, it brings me comfort, because this thing is, whatever this thing is that we're in, that we're trying to figure out in our 80 to 100 years, is way bigger than any of us could ever imagine. And so with that being said, I just want you to I just love reminding myself and everyone else of the scale of the universe. Okay, so check this out. It's about 2 minutes. This is just stupid to me. There's other ones online, guys, that are even more insane than this. This is just a recent one. But there's ones that have been done with better telescopes than this. It'll just drop your jaw. Because each one of these has billions of stars. Billions. That doesn't like humble your ass and make you realize that you don't know shit, use my language, then I don't know what would. I think the world needs a giant big humbling right now.
That was an incredible 2 minutes.
So what do you think of that, brother?
Well, here's what I just pulled up while you were playing that video. Euclid Space Telescope has revealed the first page. This is not but the first page of the cosmic atlas that the Euclid Space Telescope is building. This section features tens of millions of stars within the Milky Way and around 14 million distant galaxies beyond our own.
Wow.
Constructed, this was constructed from 260 observations collected between March and April of this year. And it accounts for only 1% of the total survey that they intend to conduct over the next 6 years.
Hey, it's my boy Marquise from North Carolina. What's up?
What's up, everybody?
Nice. I got my other boy Graham from Nova Scotia. So right now in the chat we got North Carolina, Nova Scotia, and Georgia represent. That's so cool. Thank you so much for stopping by, Mark. Okay, so we talked about that. Actually, that's a segue into something I was going to mention at the end.
So that'll be a recurring segment whenever they publish a new page from the Euclid Atlas.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to. That's a good segue into something I wanted to mention later, but I'm going to mention it now, just because we're talking about telescopes.
Ooh, yeah. So we could do this whole show in any order. We could almost do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't have to be like exactly how
all these topics are connected. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about them.
Yeah. So part of the part of this channel, and we're going to keep reminding you guys till things are settled, but it's going to be these live streams where we talk about news and weather, space news, archaeological news, solar weather, global weather, that kind of thing. But we're also doing taped interviews. We've already completed one with my friend Jason, who, if he's watching right now, I sent him a message earlier. We're just working on our editing software and stuff like that, and learning how to do that. That's all new for us. So as soon as we get that taken care of, we'll have you up. We'll have you loaded up, Jason. But we'll be doing live interviews just with interesting people, as well as we're going to be doing site visits. So site visits is like archaeological sites here near us, as well as places we want to travel to that we really want to see. And Mike and I are going to spend our own dime, and we're going to go to these places. We're going to camp out if possible, get an Airbnb, whatever. We're going to talk to locals. We're going to take pictures. We're going to go to any museum that might be there, that kind of thing. The first two places we're going to, Mike, if you wouldn't mind pulling up the locations of these, but one of them, actually, the one is called Moundville, Alabama. I think that's going to be the second one we go to. And I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
I'll pull up both and have them up here momentarily.
Okay, cool. So Moundville is a place I've always wanted to be. It's close to here, close as in within driving distance, like half a day driving distance. But it's an archaeological park where you can camp. This is Kolomoki Mounds that Mike is pulling up that I'm going to talk about. I've already been to Kolomoki Mounds. Oh, he's got Moundville. So I've never been to Moundville, but there's a series of Native American mounds that were built for supposedly ceremonial purposes. We're not going to get into the details of it. We'll save that for the show, but this is where we're going to be going. And so you guys can look forward to...
Spoiler alert, archaeoastronomy. Look it up if you haven't already.
Yeah, you guys can look forward to a show about this site. And when we go to these sites, we're going to always try to consider archaeoastronomy when we go to these sites, because a lot of these archaeological sites have only been looked at from top down or from like a street level view. They rarely get looked at from like their relationship to the sky. And what they find is many of these sites are depicting star formations that meant something to the cultures that built them. So when we go to these sites, we'll ask about archaeoastronomy and we'll look for our own signs and evidence of that sort of thing. You want to flip it over to Kolomoki? Kolomoki Mounds is here in Georgia. I've been there. It's beautiful. They also have a regenerative farm there that it's like outside of the town. It's a regenerative farm that is run by a dude named Paul Saladino. You guys may have heard of him. He's a famous regenerative farm and meat eater. He's a meat eating diet kind of guy. But he's a doctor, so it's interesting. But we're going to go check out this state park, to look for signs of archaeoastronomy, talk to locals, possibly do a tour of the regenerative farm. Because at the regenerative farm, they don't waste anything. It's all
Are they off grid? Are they off the grid?
They're not off the grid, but they're fully self-sustainable. They don't use any pesticides or anything. Everything's totally organic. Okay. They're not next door to any factory farms where they're getting leakage of pesticides and stuff from any factory farms. They truly are a regenerative farm, and they really take pride in it. So they take you to like basically walk you through the process and show you all the different places in the farm, and it's interesting. It's beautiful tue. And so anyway, we're going to be going to those two places. But the reason why I segued is because I'm just going to play the first minute of a Yes Theory video. I'm going to plug these guys really quick. Yes Theory is a channel on YouTube that they subscribe to this idea where if it's something you haven't done before or something that makes you feel excited or scared to try and somebody asks you to do it, you should always say yes. So they came up with this theory and they built this huge YouTube channel where they go all around the world meeting new people, and it's really a very wholesome channel. But I was watching it the other day, and they went to this town in West Virginia that has no cell service, no telephone service. No, they have a telephone. I think they have one. But there's no internet. There's no TV. Do they have radio?
That sounds like my kind of place. I'm over here trying to be in an off the grid mentality. They really are off of it. I need to go check it out.
Yeah. As I'm
Which is tough. It's also tough as we're trying to become YouTubers and trying to abstain from all this noisy media that's
right.
messing everybody up. You know
that's why Brittany comes in handy.
That's right.
But yeah, I saw this, and I know Mike is always like scheduling times to like he's always like, hey, sorry, I didn't answer you back. I went off grid there for about 5 hours, and Mike will literally turn off like his Wi-Fi and stuff, and he will play like old school video games and not look at his phone and stuff like that. And I'm trying to adopt that as well. But I sent him this immediately from Yes Theory because they went to this town and spent 2 days there with the community, but they had no service, no internet, no anything. And I got to be really curious, like what that would be like, because you know, Mike, when you like have a fan on or something and it's on for 2 days and you don't realize it, and then you turn it off, and then all of a sudden it's like it feels so quiet.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
I do all those things. That's why I do all those things. It's amazing how quiet it really gets.
I wonder what it would feel like to my brain and my senses to not have electromagnetic waves and radio waves and Wi-Fi waves and stuff like that.
And not only enjoying the quiet, but being still within that quietness. That's probably going to be nice.
Well, that's why I like camping so much, and like that. So that's why I feel like you get like a similar thing. But it's not just like camping, because if you go camping here in Georgia somewhere, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of places where you're not going to get any interference. But if you go to a campground in any state, you're still going to be getting that interference, whether you realize it or not.
That's right.
But that's why the reason why they put this place out there was specifically for the largest 360-degree rotating radio telescope in the world. So I'm going to share my, I highly recommend.
Telescope is not, surely it's like powered up somehow, but it's not like broadcasting a signal in the local area, right?
No,
exactly. Mainly detecting.
Yeah, exactly. It's really just collecting radio waves and interpreting it into data, and then the scientists take that data and create it into pictures that are supposed to look like something for us. But I just want to plug, if you're looking for like a wholesome experience, check out Yes Theory. Their video is usually 20 to 40 minutes, and it's almost always, it's like, we're going to go to the scariest country in Europe, and then they go to the quote scariest country in Europe, and they always meet cool people and have a blast and that kind of thing. So I'm going to put Yes Theory down below. Just check them out as I jack about a minute of their video. But I'm going to share this.
And that brings up a good point. I don't know really what's kosher when we're sharing other videos and stuff.
Right.
I try to keep my clip short. I definitely went over 5 minutes last week on one video because I was kind of scrambling to do the show, but it was good.
Yeah.
But, I think
And
it's also
you know what we're
okay
doing?
to do it live versus if we like tape and publish a video with a long clip. That's not cool.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So yes, theory. We're not trying
What's
to.
up, Mario?
I really just want to share. I want you guys to get more traffic. I'm not trying to steal your stuff. But check this out. It's just like the beginning trailer. Boom!
Shout out to my brother Mario who just tuned in, who happens to be a fan of Yes Theory. I'm glad you're a fan, Mario.
Cool. Mario's a Yes Theory fan.
One of the most mysterious places in America hides itself in these woods, far away from the public eye in one of the most enchanting mountain ranges in the country, the Appalachian Mountains, home to age-old myths and modern ghost stories. Within these mountains, there is also a hidden border they call the Quiet Zone, an area where technologies like Wi-Fi, cell phone service, and even microwaves are illegal. But why? In a time where we are reachable anywhere we go, how are some people within this border living completely disconnected? And what lies behind this invisible border? Well, on a quest to piece together some of the mysteries surrounding this place, Staffan and I decided to make the journey to this extremely remote area and explore all corners of this quiet zone. But as there are no airports anywhere near this place, we first had to fly to Washington, D.C. to then do the long and remote drive deep through Virginia and then further into West Virginia to go investigate to see if we could find some of the characters that live here and uncover some of the mysteries surrounding this place.
So, yeah, Mike and I are going to do that. Hopefully.
Let me ask you a question. This is improvised right here. But I'm gonna answer
let's
live.
go. What's up?
Would you rather go to the quiet zone, or if you had a ticket, you get either one ticket or the other, go to the quiet zone, or you get a ticket, you could put one person into the quiet zone. Which would you pick?
I mean, I don't want to throw shade, but
Yeah,
I think a lot of
I'm
people.
just joking.
I think a lot of people could use some quiet zone, including myself.
I want to go. I'm keeping that ticket for me. Why would I give that away to somebody else? A free ticket to the quiet zone? Are you kidding?
We got Mario Castellella. Is that how you say it? Nice, cool. Thanks for joining. Where are you from? Texas?
Mario's my buddy who lives here in Columbus and who is from San Antonio, Texas.
Cool, awesome. Thanks for joining. So again,
if you ever want to be on the show, Mario, let me know. Text me and we can do an interview, or you can come on and chat with us anytime.
Anytime. So again, we're going to be going to this month. We're going to be going to Colin-Moki Mounds. Next month, we're going to be going to
Moundville,
and then the following year, they're probably going to be separate trips, but we're going to be doing one to that West Virginia town, and then we're also going to be doing probably it's going to be one trip, hopefully, depending on how things cost. And
next year is next year. We got a lot of stuff on the horizon.
There's a lot of stuff, but we're planning a West Coast trip to check out some things in Montana and New Mexico. But if we don't make it, no guarantees.
Dang, that reminds me. I had a notebook with some notes about Apocalypse, but whatever. What was that other place they talked about? Chaco Canyon.
Oh yeah, we're going to be going to Chaco Canyon, which is on what they talk about on Ancient Apocalypse. What episode was that? I think it was 4 or 5.
I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Ancient Apocalypse notes. We did watch the show. Well, shoot, we've been going for 45 minutes. This has been a great show. We can chat about any of these episodes, and we still have one more topic we were saving for the end. This is great. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you're signed into YouTube on an account, please subscribe to us. It's our main platform.
We're also available on Twitter.
We should be live on Twitter.
We go live on Instagram as well, and we're eventually going to be going live on Rumble, and we need another 60 days to go live on Facebook just for their policies and stuff. But yeah, that's all I had some space news and I had some archaeological news. Oh no, we didn't do my my archaeological observatory. So I'm just going to do one more quick article because I promised to show you guys some space news and some ancient archaeological news
Combined.
So let's check it out. We'll do this one quick. So I just thought this was cool. Everything we found shattered our expectations. This is from Live Science. I'm going to put the link down below. This first ancient Egyptian observatory discovered in modern times showcases advanced knowledge of astronomy and its profound link to the Egyptian spiritual and ritualistic practices. Archaeologists have identified the first ancient Egyptian astronomical observatory on record, which they say is the first and largest of its kind, according to a translated statement from the country's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. An ancient Egyptian archaeological team discovered the remains of the 6th century BC structure 3 years ago during excavations at an archaeological site in the ancient city of Buto. Everything we found shattered our expectations. I'm going to play a little video about it, and then we'll talk about it quick.
40 miles south of Cairo. According to Fox News, the 5,000-year-old iron bead found at the...
What happened? Did it stop playing?
It appears to have frozen after 5 seconds.
Nope. I think it's because I'm on this. It's because I'm on a...
The burial site dates back to at least 3350 BC. This was well before Egypt's Iron Age, making it the oldest known iron artifact from Egypt. Shortly after the discovery, reresearchers found that the jewelry was rich in nickel, indicating it came from iron.
That is not the video that it's supposed to be. But either way, what it's saying is they found signs of archaeoastronomy in ancient Egypt. I just wanted to bring this up because it's kind of I'm probably going to get a strike. I'm probably going to get a YouTube strike for this, but I don't care. So they've found archaeoastronomy in Egypt before. Okay. The fact that
that's not YouTube strike material. I thought you were going to bring up.
I don't know. I think it is, because why would they're hiding this information? Look. That's Live Science saying that that's the first evidence of archaeoastronomy in ancient Egypt. That's not true.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, what I'm saying is the ground map of the Giza Plateau is a mirror reflection of the belt of Orion, for crap's sake. Okay, there's a site in Egypt, way out in the desert, called Nabta Playa. It's like 8,000 years old, and it's literally an astronomical observatory. Okay, it's before the ancient Egyptians ever existed. Humans have been doing archaeoastronomy for probably 200,000+ years, okay? It's just because they didn't have TV. That's all they looked at was the stars, okay? They had plenty of time to track that stuff. To act like humans who have been around on the planet for 300,000 years, okay, didn't make any ground-sky relations is just ridiculous, okay? That they didn't do it till the ancient Egyptians did, it's just silly. Okay, but I'm going to get a YouTube strike for that, but we're not making any money anyway.
I think you might be overestimating our view count before we get a strike. We're gonna have so many views.
But I just hate that. But honestly,
there's a lot of that stuff out there.
It's not a bad thing, to be honest. Archaeology, like accepting archaeoastronomy and attributing the ancient Egyptians to being able to have that knowledge, is a good thing. I think it's a step forward in the right direction for that field. But if you take a look at the Giza Plateau, right? It's like it's so complex and incredible. It act like they didn't have an observatory as well. We're talking about a civilization that lasted 5,000 years. Okay, the division of labor that would come up after 5,000 years, there'd probably be thousands of years worth of astronomical records. So, like, it's just a silly thing to say. But I'm done. Stamp.
And that's it, and that's that, folks. Well, we do have one more. We got a teaser topic, I think, for next week. What do you think, Dave?
A teaser topic. That's
is
right.
Is there anything you're going to be tuned into on the news next week?
Well, is it the second or the third ever congressional hearing?
I think it's the second big one.
Okay, it's a
And
second
this is
like public congressional hearing on the topic of, behind me, UAPs.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw the article up because Rear Admiral Christopher Gallaudet has been confirmed he's going to testify next week, a week from today, November 13th.
Yep.
Congressional hearing on UFOs, now commonly called UAPs instead. They changed the name of it because that's what you got to do with these bureaucratic organizations. From time to time, you swap the letters out. It's always a 3-letter system. So
Yep.
it was UFOs when we were little kids, when our parents learned about it. Now they call it UAPs. They say it was for mainly because they had to be fair to the ones that were going in and out from the water. Some of them were mainly submersibles, and it was unfair to call them flying because they were underwater or whatever. But they had they had a congressional hearing about a year ago, and I watched it. I watched it live on YouTube.
Me too. I thought
Congress
the
of
whole world was
Mexico.
watching, but apparently only a couple thousand people were. You know, Mike, I just to interrupt quickly. This is one of those things that I like to just impress strongly on anybody who's listening to me about this. Okay. We are at a place in time where the United States government has admitted the existence of unidentified aerial phenomenon. We've got multiple modes of identification, multiple credible eyewitnesses, multiple types of radar.
Have you ever heard of Luis Elizondo? Have you heard of Luis Elizondo?
Video. We've got so much evidence of UAPs. It's not even funny. So, like, when everyone
it's even starting to become mainstream. Mainstream normie physicists such as Michio Kaku are coming out and endorsing the books about it. He endorsed Leslie King's book from 2013.
He did. And Michio Kaku's one of those guys who will not say anything unfactual. Like,
he's still cute about it. He's still cute about the way he tiptoes around it, but he can't even deny that there is a large elephant and it's inside the room that we're all in. So.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing about Michio is like he's like a robot in that sense. You cannot get him to say. You can even if you try the most sophisticated trick of all time, you will not say something that he does not know is factually true. And he says basically UAPs are here, and we don't know what they are. We have nowhere near their capabilities. So this is just my initial rant for today on that topic, guys. But Mike and I are going to do a special live stream during that hearing, as well as
I don't know about live during it. We haven't planned that, but I'll be watching it for sure.
I thought that's what you said. So
yeah. Well, we could go live and provide commentary. Honestly, that might be a fun draw for the channel to do one of those. We'll have to look into the legality of it if we do live
we'll check it
streaming somebody else's. But it's also a congressional thing, so it's somewhat available to the public. We go live.
Back to Mike's reality. Mike is talking about reality, and reality is right in our face here. This is a real guy, formal naval commander. Okay, these guys don't get credentials for nothing. Okay.
I was going to play a short video clip of Tim Gallaudet talking about his career. This is from News Nation. I normally don't fool around with legacy media. I don't even call mainstream anymore because. You know, it's legacy. It was from old, but News Nation's all right. They got a lot of old newscasters on it. I like Ross Coulthart.
Enjoy it.
I like
Tim Gallaudet has spent a career serving his country. First in the Navy, working in areas like aircraft carrier combat operations and assisting Navy SEAL teams during counter-terrorism operations, according to his official biography. More recently, he served as acting administrator of the Commerce Department's agency, which forecasts weather and monitors ocean and atmospheric conditions, where he analysed the science behind weather and other phenomena. So, Tim, you've said publicly that you think UFOs, UAPs, are the story of the century. Now, I happen to agree with you, but why do you say that?
Oh, absolutely. We're being visited by non-human intelligence with technology we really don't understand, and with intentions we don't understand at all either. And this is just one of those great big questions. Are we alone or not? And we're learning we're not.
Now, really does surprise me to hear that from a former very high-ranking flag officer in the US Navy, to actually say you're stating categorically that you believe NHI, non-human intelligence, are real.
Absolutely, I do.
Why do you say that?
Well, for a number of reasons that have been coming out, Congress has been informed and they've drafted legislation and they've passed legislation, for example, to establish a DoD office to look at it. They did the same, NASA did the same with a UAP study team. And we know from the UAP hearing this summer that there are crash retrieval programs. And I have 100% confidence that the testimony by David Grush and the other witnesses is accurate.
Wow.
All right, gonna go ahead and pause it there and unshare the screen, but there it is, folks.
So that's
right up there. Yeah. Don't fall for these distraction campaigns that play out over weeks and months. There's real stuff going on. This stuff has been denied by the government for decades, since before me and Dave was born. But apparently it has been going on. So I'm all eyes and ears on this one.
He's the fourth highly credentialed. He's the second one to use the official Whistleblower Act, I believe, that David Grush used. He was the first one to use that Whistleblower Protection Act.
I don't know if that was that guy. I don't know who did that. I'm not sure about that.
It was Grush. But either way,
Yeah.
there's been four, I think maybe even five, actual high-ranking military, high security clearance. For me, just Ryan Graves, David Grush, David Fravor.
So last year, we should go ahead and update the audience. If you didn't watch the congressional hearing last year, you had two former pilots testify about things they had seen in the air, and then one high-ranking intelligence officer who was tasked with investigating these things, and then who was stymied in his task of investigating those things by the people who were trying to keep things under wraps, and then reported the fact that, hey, I was instructed to investigate this and I got stymied. I'm done. He basically said, I'm through with it. That's David Grush. And that's who testified before Congress last year. So now there's more people like Tim Gallaudet will testify. I don't know if y'all have heard of Luis Elizondo. He recently came out with a book. Luis Elizondo is another story of somebody who was tasked by the government to look into these mysterious, anomalous things, and then who learned the hard way, or the only way, that there's a lot of people out here involved in this that don't want you to know what they're doing.
Right. And Mike and I have purposely kind of held off on this topic. We're not going to bombard our audience with this topic either, but when developments do happen, we will talk about them. And also we will recommend books, documentaries, and just credible things to look into if this is something that's of interest to you, and if it's something that you don't know anything about. If you just know the traditional X-Files or Mars Attacks thing.
Speaking of that, did you see the newest Y-Files episode? You don't have to have ever watched a single episode. It doesn't matter if you watch 1, 0, or all the episodes of the X-Files. You can watch the Y-Files today on YouTube. It's a great show.
Yeah, so Y-Files, the most newest one, he's the best at telling this insane conspiracy theory and making it sound real, and then ripping not ripping it apart, but what he does is he really takes an honest look at it and says, this is the stuff that I'm sticking with, and this is the stuff that you can throw out, and he does it in a really fun way. But I was actually going to bring up Yes Theory again, because they did an episode with David Grush, who is the whistleblower, the guy that used the whistleblower protection, who is the high-ranking officer. He has not actually seen any crafts or anything like Ryan Graves and David Fravor have reported, but he spearheaded an investigation and has come out under the Whistleblower Protection Act saying this is real, right? So you can check out his episode on Yes Theory as well. I'm gonna put that below as well.
Is that the one where he names Dick Cheney? Someone interviewed David Grush in the last month or so, and he dropped Dick Cheney's name.
This episode was a while ago.
And that's what's really going to get us removed, shadow banned from YouTube. We'll be shadow banned for that.
For sure. If I didn't do it already. Oh, my mom just said that. Cool. Hey, Mom.
Coming up on an hour. Thanks to anybody that's still tuned in. I know we've been yakking your ears off, but we're gonna have fun. I hope you are too.
Yeah, but it was fun. Thank you for tuning in. Anybody who tuned in. Adios.
Well, yeah. Do we have? Well, I wasn't trying to close it instantly, but what else? What else is what's bad?
I don't know. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. That was basically everything we had planned.
Next week we're doing
Wednesdays.
the what is it called? The live stream possibly. We'll at least talk about that.
Yep.
And that's it.
This
Oh, do you
has
want to
been
shout out homeboy who made this song?
Mike and Dave's Multiverse. That's right. This is Quad Control System, Beam of Light, off their new record. Don't worry, the aliens are just fine. I'll put a link to their song down below when we post this. We hope to see you all again. Thanks for tuning into the show.